Welcome to Stories by Renee Rose Hawthorne, where sweet romance comes to life. Each episode, I'll be using AI narration to give life to clean, wholesome romances that span from contemporary small towns to magical fantasy realms. Whether you're folding laundry, taking a walk, or simply relaxing with your eyes closed, I hope these stories transport you to worlds where love blossoms in the most enchanting ways. So settle in, get comfortable, and allow yourself to be swept away by stories that warm the heart.
Piano Keys. A Sweet Meet Cute Story by Renee Rose Hawthorne. The scent of roasted coffee beans and warm pastries filled Café Allegro every Tuesday and Thursday. Music drifted through the air from noon to 1. Real music from the upright piano by the windows. No recordings, no streams, just fingers on ivory keys and melodies that hung in the coffee-scented air. Elise chose those days for remote work. The Wi-Fi worked. The coffee was strong and bitter on her tongue. For 1 hour, she could pretend. This wasn't just a corner cafe in a suburban strip mall. The gentle clink of cups and soft murmur of conversations created her perfect working soundtrack. She claimed the same table each time, second from the back, angled to see her laptop and the piano, close enough to hear every note, far enough to avoid distracting the pianist. 3 months of this ritual. Arrive by 11:30, order her usual large Americano with cream, set up the laptop, wait. The pianist was tall and slender. Dark curls fell across his forehead during passionate pieces. He never acknowledged applause. Each song flowed into the next. He lived in his own world of music. Elise had tried identifying his selections once. Her music app found some matches: Chopin nocturnes, Debussy preludes. Many came back as no match found. Today, her usual table was taken. An elderly couple sat there. She hesitated, scanned the cafe, settled for a table in the pianist's direct line of sight. Too close, she couldn't watch without being obvious. The lunch crowd arrived with a rush of cool air and rustling coats. Footsteps echoed on the tile floor. Chairs scraped against the ground. At noon, the pianist appeared. He nodded to patrons, made his way to the piano with quiet footsteps. Blue button down today, sleeves rolled up, forearms showed lean muscle. He sat. The wooden bench creaked softly, adjusted his position, flexed his fingers once, the sound of knuckles cracking, placed them on the keys. The first notes floated through the cafe, something contemplative, vaguely familiar. The melody cut through the ambient chatter like sunlight through gauze. Elise tried focusing on work. The proximity made looking up impossible to avoid. Her keyboard clicks seemed too loud now. From this angle, she saw everything: the slight furrow between his brows, his eyes closing during moving passages. Halfway through his hour, he began something new. The cafe seemed to hold its breath. Conversations quieted to whispers. It started tentative, built into something complex, achingly beautiful. Each note seemed to shimmer in the air before dissolving. When it ended, the silence felt sacred. Tears threatened. Elise spoke without thinking. Her voice sounded too loud in the hushed cafe. "That was lovely. What was it called?" His head jerked up, the spell broken. Surprise crossed his face. He stared at her. Warm brown eyes met hers. Heat rose to her cheeks under his gaze. Around them, the cafe's gentle hum resumed. Then he smiled, small, hesitant. It transformed his serious face. "It doesn't have a name yet. It's not finished." His voice was softer than she'd imagined, like velvet over sandpaper. "You wrote it?" The question seemed foolish, but she was distracted. He leaned toward her. Their conversation felt precious, something to protect. "It's still finding its way." He tilted his head, studied her with intensity. "You're familiar. You come here often, don't you?" Recognition sent a thrill through her. "Tuesdays and Thursdays. I work remote those days." "Second table from the back. Except today. His smile returned. Elise blinked. You noticed? He nodded. I notice everyone who listens, but especially you. She felt a flutter of nerves and awareness. Well, I hope your piece finds its way to a name soon. The cafe faded into background noise as he gazed at her, and his smile widened. A dimple appeared in his left cheek. Do you have any suggestions? For the name, I mean. The question caught her off guard. Me? He turned to the piano keys, staring down at them. You're the first person who's ever commented on it. Seems only fair you should have input. His fingers traced patterns on the keys. No sound, just the whisper of skin against ivory. Elise watched the graceful movement, imagined those hands holding hers, the warmth they might carry. Elise considered the piece, tried capturing the feeling it evoked. The memory of the melody still echoed in her mind. It reminded me of dawn, that moment when the sky just begins lighting up, but the stars are still visible, in between time. She looked up. He watched her with intense focus, as if her words mattered as much as any music. The air between them seemed to thicken. Something flickered across his face. Surprise, recognition, liminal. The word rolled off his tongue like a caress. She swallowed, tried to keep her thoughts on the subject at hand. Pardon? He touched the sheets of music in front of him. Liminal spaces, thresholds, in-between places. He nodded to himself. I like that. Thank you. Another patron approached with a request. The pianist turned away. The moment was gone. Elise returned to her laptop. The remainder of his set passed in a blur. Her mind stayed caught in that exchange. His hour ended. He closed the piano lid, stood. Usually he slipped out the back door. Today he paused, looked in her direction. For a heartbeat, Elise thought he might approach. Instead, he gave a small nod, left through the front entrance. She told herself it didn't matter. One conversation meant nothing. She packed her laptop, headed for the door. Her afternoon appointments needed mental review. Outside, she almost walked into him. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the sidewalk. He stood beside the cafe entrance, hands in pockets, waiting. The scent of sandalwood cologne mixed with the crisp autumn air. I'm Nathaniel. No preamble. His eyes held hers with quickening intensity. His breath formed small clouds in the cooling air. She held out her hand. Elise. When he gently enveloped her hand in his, she felt a heat in her belly. Noticed how close they stood. The way his cologne seemed to wrap around her like a warm embrace. He squeezed her fingers. You tap your fingers sometimes, when you like a piece, right hand against your table edge, almost like you're playing along. He had been watching her too. She squeezed his fingers back and then dropped her hand reluctantly from his. Former piano student, very former, very mediocre. 10 years of lessons my mother insisted on. She tucked hair behind her ear. He pressed his sheaf of music to his chest. Do you miss it? He leaned closer, genuinely interested. Elise wrapped her arms around herself. I loved it. I just wasn't very good. His expression softened, eyes crinkled at the corners. That's the tragedy of music education. Making children think loving music and being good at it have to go together. She cocked an eyebrow at him. Is that your professional opinion as a cafe pianist? Elise regretted her flippant tone. But Nathaniel laughed, a warm sound that crinkled his eyes further. The sound seemed to chase away the afternoon chill. My day job is teaching music at the community college. The cafe gig is just for practice and to try out new material. A car door slammed somewhere nearby. Traffic hummed in the distance, but their conversation felt wrapped in its own quiet bubble. She leaned closer to him. Like the dawn piece? He tapped his music folder. Liminal, thanks to you. Elise felt her cheeks warm. Well, it's beautiful. They all are. Your compositions, I mean. I tried looking some up, but they're not. I couldn't find. Nathaniel saved her from awkward explanation. They wouldn't be in any database. They're just mine. Things I'm working on. Tugging at her bag, she couldn't help but make the suggestion that had been building in her. You should record them. They deserve to be heard. He rocked back on his heels slightly. That's the dream. But between teaching and practicing, finding time for proper recording sessions is challenging. Elise hesitated a moment, then offered, I could help, maybe. I work in digital media, audio engineering. I have software that could transcribe piano parts as you play. It would create digital notation for your compositions. She hadn't meant to reveal that, but his open expression encouraged honesty. Nathaniel's eyebrows rose. You're an audio engineer? And you've been sitting there watching me fumble through my pieces? She shook her head. Not fumbling at all. And yes, that's my day job. I work in a studio, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are my remote days. He ran a hand over his jaw. That explains the headphones and intense focus. Nathaniel studied her with new interest. She smiled and warmed to the subject. Yes, I've been working on a project to help composers capture improvisations. The software translates what you play into notation in real time. No more losing those spontaneous moments of inspiration. Nathaniel studied her, as if weighing something. Would you like to hear more of them? Maybe we could talk about this recording idea? Elise glanced at her watch. Now? No, I have a class in 30 minutes. I meant, my quartet is playing at Reynolds Park on Saturday. Just a small thing. But we'll be doing some of my original work, including a more developed version of Liminal. Your quartet? String quartet. I'm on piano, with violin, viola, and cello. He ran a hand through his curls. The gesture seemed nervous rather than practiced. It's at noon. Nothing formal. Just a park performance. Elise hesitated briefly, toying with her bag strap again. I'd like that. Nathaniel's smile returned, fuller this time. Good. That's good. Awkward silence fell between them, neither sure how to end the conversation. Elise waved toward her car. Afternoon breeze caught her hair. I should go. Nathaniel stepped back. Right, yes, me too. His shoes scuffed against asphalt. His eyes traced the curve of her smile, lingered there. The space between them felt charged, like air before a storm. So, Saturday? Noon? Elise nodded. Warmth spread from her chest to her cheeks. I'll be there, looking forward to hearing the rest of Liminal. Her gaze dropped to his hands, returned to his eyes. Her lips parted as if more words wanted to come. He fidgeted with car keys, spun them around his finger, caught them in his palm. His gaze met hers. Looking forward to playing it for you, and maybe we can talk more about that recording software after? It sounds like what I've been looking for. She tucked hair behind her ear. A small smile formed. She shifted weight from foot to foot. I'd be happy to show you. I could bring my laptop with the program if you'd like. That would be amazing. A professional audio engineer offering to help preserve my humble cafe compositions. I feel like I should be pinching myself. His hand brushed against hers, seemingly accidental, but he didn't pull away. His skin was warm despite the cool air, calloused fingertips from years of piano practice. Elise felt her throat get soft before she spoke. They're far from humble, but yes, I'd like to help. The words came out laden with meaning beyond technical assistance. Nathaniel held her gaze. It almost feels like fate, that out of all the cafes in the city, you chose this one, that you happen to be an audio engineer who appreciates piano compositions, that today, of all days, your usual table was taken. Elise smiled. Warmth rushed through her at his earnestness. Maybe it was, or maybe it was just liminal, the right moment between what was and what could be. The look he gave her then made her heart skip, surprised, delighted, something more. I think I have a new idea for a composition. It was hard to break away, but finally Elise turned toward her car. The evening air carried the scent of fallen leaves and distant wood smoke. Found herself humming his melody. The notes seemed to float on the breeze, liminal, a threshold, a space between one state and another. It seemed fitting for this moment, for the invitation opening before her, as delicate and promising as the first notes of dawn, no longer doomed to fade away unrecorded. And perhaps, she thought with a smile, no longer just about music. Her footsteps echoed on the pavement, but the melody lingered in the air behind her. The end. Thank you for reading and listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, and if you can, please leave a review at your favorite review site. Reviews help writers immensely. For more work by Renee Rose Hawthorne, check out her titles at Amazon, Goodreads, 11 Labs, and at her site, reneehawthorne.com.